Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise podcast, episode 70. We are back here for, I can't believe we're already at episode 70. Like, it's so surreal. But we're here for with a fan series. We have a very special guest. I'm your host, Griffin Aldrich, but we're joined by no other than Fleezus. You guys know him on the Celtics Nation Rise channel. I have to say, yeah, we gotta get to that in a minute. We gotta get to that in a minute. But so we had a vlog back in, geez, when was this? Do you remember what month it was?
What do you mean,
July?
September? Yeah, give or take.
July, I think. All right, so July. Go watch this video first, or pause it. Go watch that one, or after, just go watch it. But we did a vlog at Canopy Park, meeting Jaylen Brown. And Fleezus, you were the star of the show, I have to say. We even made a
No.
whole short off of it because we were doing bloopers, and you're like, "We outside, we
Yeah,
outside."
sorry, you do that. I just always gotta bring the energy, man. Some people may not always be as confident to, spread their energy, but they're just equally excited to be there. So I just try to be the person to make everyone feel comfortable and just remind them we're here for a good time, not a long time. No Drake.
Love it, love it. Yeah, but again, I'm so sorry. How rude of me for not the introduction, but welcome, Fleezus, to the podcast. If you wanted to tell everyone at home about yourself really quick, just to start it off and get things started,
Yes,
because I'll
yes.
tell you what,
First and
I've known about you for
foremost,
a while.
First and foremost, shout out to Griff. Shout out to Celtic Nation's Rise podcast. You know the vibes, baby.
I love
I'm your
it.
boy Chris, aka Fleezus, most importantly, aka your favorite leprechaun. So I got the chance to meet Griff this summer, as he just mentioned. Great vibes. Super grateful to have been reminded and invited by our mutual friend Caveman. Shout out to Caveman. Doing big
Okay,
things
man.
as well, and just a bunch of other Celtic fans who are just equally as passionate, or interested in such an opportunity to not only be around other fellow fans, but to meet the Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, Mr. Fake
Yo.
Consistency, hard work pays off. Beautiful times. But a little about myself. I'm actually from New York. Don't boo me, because I'm still bleeding green and I'm a leprechaun. All my New York friends, I call them Nickadoodles. They hate that I'm a Celtics fan, but it makes me love it even more. And it's been a very dope journey. I've been blessed to meet a lot of great people, experience a lot of dope games, that I never was able to, growing up. But around 2022 was when I was really blessed to start being able to go to games and just really get that feel of Beantown, and just to meet others such as yourself, which I'm extremely grateful for. And if you could see some of the background, it's just some of the memorabilia from my journey so far. And I'm running out of space, Chris. I'm running out of space,
Bye.
man. So that's a great thing as a fanatic. But yeah, man, thank you for having me today. And I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited.
Of course, of course. And I have to say, you guys are shocked because I haven't asked the most famous question first. But first off, you could tell he's a Celtics fan because look at the back of there. Look at his Celtics gear. I mean, you're not a bandwagon for one. You might be for. Now, we have to answer this question before we go into it because this is going to be the most popular question of the video, I bet. So, you were born and raised in New York, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was born and raised in the Bronx, to be exact. So I know it's definitely surprising to not be a Knicks fan, for sure.
So, how did that happen, though? How did you end up a Celtics fan? That's my question.
So funny enough, I always kind of had an eye for the Celtics and Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? My older brother, he's a huge Laker Kobe fan. So that kind of played a role in it as well. But growing up playing basketball, my favorite player was Rondo. They used to call me the Puerto Rican Rondo, because I hit him with the reverse and the pass and the no looks. And once that came about, I really just got super extremely interested with, the pandemonium of being a Celtics fan. And then, as I said, my brother being a what I call a Laker doodle, that not only fueled the sibling rivalry, but just wanted me to be an even bigger leprechaun, than I was at that moment. So that kind of all like coexisted, and I actually got my first Celtics jersey. I wouldn't say it's by accident, but because everything happens for a reason. But my dad, God rest his soul, he didn't ask me, hey, do you want a Celtics jersey? He randomly one day blessed me with a Paul Pierce Celtics jersey, which I gotta send you the picture of so you could throw up here. It was the classic colorway with the yellow, with the white, with the big green shamrock, with the circle around it on the chest, and that just helped grow my interest for him, and then just watching him, go through all his challenges in life, but also on the court as well, and just get growing more interest in that lifestyle of being a Celtics fan.
Well, and I love how you said that because I originally was gonna say where your Celtics fandom began, but you answered it right there with that question. So, and I tell you what, do other people criticize you for being a Celtics fan in New
Oh,
York
for
all the time?
sure. I mean, I think at this point, like, if someone doesn't criticize me, I feel like they're just being overly kind. You know, if they
Yeah.
don't have the question of how it happened or why, or did I forget where I'm from, or who put that bad potion in my drink to make me a Celtics fan, like, you name it. But at this point, I've overly expressed myself to everyone that knows me and those who don't. How strongly I feel about the Celtics, and being your favorite leprechaun. So it's like
Oh
now
yeah.
it's a given where I see a bunch of my buddies and they be like, I hate the Celtics, but I love you. You know what I mean? And if they win it, then I'm happy for you. But aside from that, we don't care for them. So love is love.
And I have to say, you're a Yankees fan. And I will say this, it's so common to see a Yankees and a Celtics fan. I see that all the time, but tell me, was there any influence between being a Red Sox fan or your diehard Yankees
So
all?
so my love for Beantown never extended past the Celtics, unfortunately, to tell you.
Got you,
I
got
had to stay loyal in some regards. Now, some people call me crazy for saying, "Oh, you cheer for one, not cheer for the rest." And some are like, "Okay, at least you cheer for the hometown in every sport but basketball." But being in New York, a lot of people are really, really strongly feeling about the Knicks more than any sport, and then it's the Yankees. But you know, when sports were instilled in my life, by my father and my older brother, um, we only really had favorite teams in basketball and football growing up. My father, he was just a huge basketball fan. Like, his trivia knowledge was extremely high. Like, he never had a favorite team. He was just a fan of the game, and that kind of gave my brother and I free range to kind of, dibble and dabble and see. All right, we shout out to the Knicks, but there's nothing really attracting us. Like, the green attracts me with Rondo, LA and Kobe Bryant with my brother, you know what I mean? And just to have that household rivalry and the Celtics and Lakers vibes growing up, it just made it more special being a basketball fan, but definitely a Celtics fan as well.
100%. And I have to say, and this is a question Seamus loves to ask when we're on here, but Seamus
Yeah.
couldn't make it today, so I'm filling in his
Shout
shoes.
out Seamus.
Yeah, shout out Seamus. Go. Like, thank you, Seamus, for the graphics. Like, we
Yes,
all love it
yes,
and
very dope.
appreciate them here.
I wish
So,
my lighting was better, Seamus. I'm sorry.
no, no,
Busy over
no. The
here.
lighting's fine. I have to say, my lighting is bad. And I'm going to say the reason for that is I'm going with a Halloween vibe. So, you see some orange back
Yeah.
there in that one. You see some purple in there. And, all right, I got to show this. Have you ever watched the Terrifier movies? Have you ever heard of Art the Clown? Probably not.
Yes,
Look,
yes, yes.
we got it decked
That's the
out.
black and white. Oh
It has
no.
Celtics gear. Hold on.
That's the only time I wouldn't be too scared.
Yeah, it's decked out in Celtics here. I have to say, it was a strange purchase last year. So, you know what? It can talk too. That's the crazy part. But do you want to hear why I'm so ready for fall? Because I'm ready for
That's true.
Celtics season. Oh, see, that's good lighting right there. That's good
Yeah,
lighting.
my shout out to my cousin behind the scenes. He just blessed me with his phone camera, so the extra light may be in and out in case any
Yeah,
ladies call his phone or something like that.
it works though. It works though.
We need it.
Yeah,
We need it. I'm
I tell
feeling a
you
little
what.
more handsome. You see the jersey?
Yeah, see, no, I have to say, the one thing I mess with you about so much is just the vibes that you brought. Like, even when we were at
Thank you,
Canopy,
brother.
like I have to say, like the whole time, and this is one thing, and then obviously this is your show today. I'm gonna let you take it away, but I have to bless you with some love really quick because we
Yes,
were there
sir.
for hours and hours and hours. It was a
Hours.
long day, and there were parts where the vibes weren't like for like if you weren't there, the vibes would have been extremely low. Like, God bless Canopy, and it was great. And it's hard when you have that many people. It's hard, but there were times where
Yeah, that
like
heat was beaming.
he and then the gold members that got to go in first, but
Yeah,
all love, we
I don't
didn't
know
know.
if you remember when me randomly shouting out, "Can we get some water, please?"
Yeah, yeah, but I no, that's what I'm saying. You kept the vibes to the max. Like it was hot.
Thank you, brother.
It was
And
hot out
you
there.
definitely helped play a role in that as well. I really appreciate you for that. For sure. Love is love, man. The more the merrier, for sure. Like the Leprechaun army grew during the off season. Like me being in New York, I can't wait to be the hostess with the mostest. If people come down for the Nickadoodle games or the Brooklyn Nets games, I'm trying to be there, be squared, or even if not, maybe if I could just set up a vibe where a bunch of us who are in town, meet up and go watch the game somewhere. I was actually blessed last season. Shout out to my boy GRD, aka Greens Run Deep. He put me in a very dope position to collab with another gentleman out here in New York, and we basically had a Celtics Knicks playoff watch party. Unfortunately, obviously, things didn't turn out how we hoped for. But when I tell you the energy, the love and support was there, Griff, man, there was about, let's say at the first one alone, like 25 people. I I knew 20 of them. You know what I mean? And five more I met that night, or maybe they came with friends that already knew me, and many of them maybe were either Celtics fans, a bit of Knicks fans, some who just wanted to support me just because they excited as much as I am about what I've been doing with this content creation, and just trying to you know gain more attention for the Celtics fanatics, and just remind people why we're not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, but 18-time champions. I almost lost trace. I almost forgot how to count, baby. Like, it's so real that we're running out of space, Griff. I actually
We
got this
oh,
one when it
that's
was
a
17. I gotta put the big 18 on top.
woo.
Check out this dope pin. Shout out my boy at David's Fresh. Back at 22, he was making these dope pins that got the J's with Marcus, who we miss, even though you signed to the Laker Doodles, Marcus. My brother
I
is
know.
not letting me live that down. So pray for me this season. You know, to see our former Leprechaun legend to be on the rival squad. I don't know about you, brother, but it's revving up my PTSD when Ray Allen went to Miami.
Well, what are your this is a question to ask right now. What are your initial thoughts on that? Like, did that hit you hard? Because obviously you saw the pin with Marcus, and I see a smart thing back
Yeah.
there. And I was a big smart guy, but did it hit you a lot harder than others? Would you say? And what were your thoughts?
As they say, it hit me like a ton of bricks. But I won't say it hit as hard as it could have because me being a Celtic fan and my favorite player being Rajon Rondo, already have seen him not only go to LA but help them win a championship to get them one number closer than us, even though it was in the Mickey Mouse bubble. Shout out to him for being a two-time champion, but seeing him do that first really broke the ice. Then seeing like Isaiah Thomas go over there, Avery Bradley, now Marcus. I'm starting to think the Lakers are like, that one guy that's waiting on the sideline, waiting for us to break up with our hot girlfriend. Cause they want to act respectful, but they're really eyeing it, and they're checking out their Instagram and seeing are they still dating, are they broken up? Cause once we're separated, they trying to come in a super away. Like, come on, man.
That's
Lakers,
a great example right there. I have
Lakers,
to say,
please. The sloppy seconds, it's enough. We know you're inspired by the 18-time world champions, but come on now, baby. Get it together. So
I
I,
they like
I
what
I
we built
pray he
over
has
here.
yeah, I pray he has a healthy and successful season. I don't wish injury on any player, no matter
No.
the dislike I have for a team, especially one who's a deep part of our franchise. But I definitely hope they lose. I hope they go to the play-in again and lose, Because as I told my brother, they've only been making the playoffs because of the play-in. If it didn't exist, they wouldn't have been making the playoffs these past few seasons. But hey, who am
Mhm.
I? But yeah, it definitely hurts to see that, my boy. I don't know. Like seeing him put that jersey on is terrible feeling, man. It's like seeing your ex get with somebody that you know from around the way.
And
What are you gonna do?
you said it right there, and I have to say, so before we go, well, let's talk about it right now. We'll go with the fanatic questions later, but
Yeah,
I have to say, what were your thoughts about this offseason? Because for a lot of Celtics fans, this has been rough. And I feel now we're at the part where that's why we got all the Halloween stuff, because we're getting to the point where season is rolling around. But now that it's hit you, what have been your thoughts about this season, off season? I mean, Porzingis,
brother.
like I looked at it the other
Oh
day,
man,
and our whole roster is new. Like you look at it,
depleted.
there's only
What do
like
we have? Like six people left from the championship team
barely
when we
any.
had
But
everybody re-signed.
listen to this though. Like I have it right up here. These are the new players that we have on our squad. I mean, Anthony Simons, Josh Minot, RJ Lewis Jr., Ugo Gonzalez, Shulga, Garza, Williams, and Chris Boucher. Like that's a whole different team. Like they
Yeah,
literally
totally.
what we did with the Celtics is basically we shook it up and we like went, all right, time to
Yeah,
switch it up. But what were your thoughts? And you could go
I
player
feel
for player how it affected you, or you could just say it and all.
honestly, Griff. I feel like if you remember growing up back in school, people used to give you Indian burns. That's how I felt
Yes.
all off season. I was super excited for days such as meeting you and linking up with the Celtics fan at Kenobi Lake and meeting Jaylen Brown, but other days where I'm just at home waiting for the season, I'm thinking, damn, we were just really on top of the world last season. Like to think that something as simple as the second apron can come in and blow up our whole team project, that we had such a great blueprint for, to have the same championship team for the next at least 2 to 3 seasons. It's crazy. Like it blew my mind. Of course. What one good take from it though is we got to keep a lot of key pieces. Of course, starting with the Jays to D White, aka Mr. Clean, to the former six man of the year who will now be a starting point guard in Peyton Pritch, to having a new acquisition such as Anthony Simons, whom I'm really excited and hope that we keep. I know he can be a great asset in a trade piece, but I feel like to have a new young scorer, to be around the Jays and to learn from them. And he torched us how many games last season? He had a 30 piece, maybe even a 40 ball. So I feel like once you put this lucky green on, you just tap into another level mindset wise and just skill set wise. And then even going to players such as Luca Garza, many may not know he wasn't a one but a two-time National Player of the Year in college. And maybe people have given up on him if they've even been paying attention, but you got to think he's been on teams such as Detroit and then places such as Minnesota where he's behind Cat and Julius and so many other skillful players. Nas Reed, whom I wish we signed this offseason. New York big guard. He would have been a great addition to the team. But then even players like Hugo Gonzalez, whom me being Hispanic, shout out to him. I'm excited. Ya tú sabes, baby, Hugo. You know what I'm saying? We're saying Hugo no boss or tú tienes Hugo, like do you have the juice? Things
Woo!
like that. So excited to see. And then um, Chris Boucher, maybe the cousin of Bobby Boucher. You know what I'm saying? Got to get
I
that good
love that.
H2O. Whom some may not know, is a former Oregon Duck who played with Peyton Pritchard, which is exciting to see that little college reunion as well. And just to fill him in a much needed role where our front court is, I wouldn't say weak, but it's definitely not as strong. At least not on paper. But who knows? Players like Kata have an opportunity to step up. Whom I was actually blessed to be on Instagram Live last season. I called him my sleeper, and I'm sure you've been watching. I don't know how many
Look,
others, but to see what he's been doing for I believe it's Portugal, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
and just to see him putting on for his home country and just to get him revved up for the beginning of the season is very dope to look at and think about. But I'm still definitely basking in the ambience of Banner 18. Like that high hasn't fully diminished from my body, but it's definitely you know an interesting
We're
challenge
coming
to
down to
balance
earth.
out the yes
Sorry, I didn't mean to
exactly.
interrupt you, but we're
No,
definitely
you're good. You
back
you
down
hit the
to earth.
nail on the head.
No,
Exactly. Yes, sir.
and I have to say, like, was it weird for you? Like, I feel like at first, and I forgot. I think it was the holiday trade first, and we were hit with that one, and we're like, all right, this doesn't have to be so bad. Like, we just got Anthony
Yeah.
Simons for Drew Holiday. I think we were like, all right, but then it hit us with the
And it was a
Porzingis.
draft pick as well too.
It was too. So we're like what? I thought this was supposed to be a bad off season, but then we came up to Porzingis, and that's where it got a little rocky. And you ended up,
Unicorn.
I got see, I was blessed to be able to meet the unicorn, which was out of this world, and that's why it hit me so hard. I got to meet him. He's such a nice guy, and when
Absolutely.
he's healthy, he could be a beast. And I'm sure you loved because we all hated him when he was in New York, but now him switching sides and coming to Boston, we loved watching Porzingis play, and I think you agree with that.
Yeah, definitely, brother. He was a great acquisition from day one. I love that people slept on his talent due to injuries. One thing I always told people was he was never on a team as well put as ours to where he didn't have to be that number one or two option. He could be the third, fourth, or the fifth. That's how good the team was. And then the times where he stepped up as if he was the number one, such as game one of the finals, you saw the unicorn in real life. Like they thought mythical creatures didn't exist anymore. He showed that they did. So to then see us lose him because of the second apron, but to now also see how he's been a killer in the Euro League, putting up 20 and 10 easily, just like we know he could. And then to see him go of all places to the Atlanta Hawks, the team who beat us in that tournament last season, to already have that same team of young and up and coming players along with Mr. Blow Pop Head, Trey Young, to now have Porzingis, whom will potentially be more healthier this upcoming season than he was for us last season, definitely will hurt to see for sure.
Definitely. And you already mentioned the other names. I mean, there's some names that it's not so close. I feel like for me, so I'm in Maine, as a lot of you must know. So I see a lot of the Maine Celtics guys, and those
Let's
ones hit
go.
hard for me, such as Drew Peterson, JD Davison, those
Yes,
guys,
yes.
such as themselves. However, it's like, all right, with those players, you have to take a risk anyways. And those are quick players where if nothing turns out with them, you ship them off. And that's practically what we saw, and still waiting on news with Al Horford. I know that's going to be one. And what are your thoughts on that? Because there's still
Um,
nothing with Al Horford.
First of all, I love Theo Al. For those of you that don't know, Theo means uncle in Spanish. Every time he steps on the court and he scores, I'm Puerto Rican, but I say a Dominican phrase that I know he would love if he heard, and we say "plátano con salami," which is a meal that's heavily in the Hispanic community, but especially Dominicans. And I say "plátano con salami," "plátano con salami." So to not even have the idea to be able to celebrate and say that catchphrase that I've been saying as long as we had him, Griff, definitely hurts. As you know, it's kind of like I saw this one great meme that it was basically Master Splinter and all the Ninja Turtles, and he of course was Master Splinter, being the
Yep.
eldest and the most wise Celtic that we have. To even the idea of not having him return is one thing, but to have him not return and potentially play on a rival team or just anywhere in general that isn't this green right here, yeah, it sucks to think about. I have avoided thinking about him retiring, but I'm sorry to say I would much rather him retire in this uniform than play one more year elsewhere. Of course, I consider the fact him being a wonderful family man. He's doing things as playing an extra season as such, but Brad Stevens, new owners. Do what you need to bring Theo out back for a final season, baby. Come on now. We love him. We need his veteran presence for this new young squad. While we trying to figure things out and just make the best of the season. One thing I look forward to is low expectations can lead to high results, and I'm ready for us to shock the world, baby. Championship or not, I definitely believe we could get further than a lot of people are banking on us to get. I've heard a lot of blasphemy about us not even being a playoff team no more, as if we don't still have the former Finals MVP and Jaylen Brown, or the former Sixth Man of the Year Payne Pritchard, or Derek White, who plays all roles. And as we said, new additions such as Chris Boucher and Hugo Gonzalez, and players that many are not gonna think to pay attention to, but we will. And when they step up, you're gonna hear us.
You are. We are loud. Celtics fans are loud. And I have to ask
Oh
this though:
yeah.
if you had to bet, do you bet he retires, goes elsewhere, or comes back to the Celtics? If you had to bet on one of those, what are you banking on?
Man, as you can see, where we at right here, I got that Theo Al poster. So I'm hoping that brings some good luck. But I definitely see him playing another season. I just don't know if it's gonna be with us, which is really sucks to think about. If he retires with us, whoever's listening out there, please let me know if you got an affordable ticket so I could go to that ceremony. I pray we retire his jersey with us. That would be amazing.
I mean, who else
But
is
if
at
not,
42?
Atlanta, they
Yeah,
they would have to as well. I feel
they
like
have to.
a lot of their success was when he was there. And Yeah, man, I would love to see that jersey go in the Raptors. That would be an amazing addition to all the other legends we got up there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that might be the first Dominican player jersey retired for the Boston Celtics. So that'll just do a lot for the culture um, of Hispanics, especially with Hispanic heritage being around this time. Especially for the Celtic culture as well. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, that would be huge. But I
Yeah.
want to ask your thoughts too on this question, and then we'll shift more on your fan experience and all of that. But my final question, and we can talk about this a little more, is what are your thoughts and what do you think will come of the upcoming 2026, 2025, 2026 season? You kind of brushed up on it a little bit, but what are your complete thoughts
Mhm.
with the new team and what are your expectations? I mean, Jason Tatum, again, I think he should sit out and rest fully up, but like he's getting good process done with that Achilles tear. But what are your thoughts
Yes.
on this upcoming season without Jason Tatum
Oh
and
man, first and foremost, I was actually blessed to go to that playoff game when Jason Tatum got hurt versus the New York Knickerdoodles.
how was
And
he
when I tell
working?
you, when I would tell you I was ready to jump from those nosebleeds, and I was like, Tatum, take my leg. Like I feel like that guy from SpongeBob that's like my leg. Like it hurt to see. Especially the fact that we were up so early in that game. Especially that I was talking so much trash because Derek White was torching them, and I was like, Mr. Clean every time he hit a three. Or Jason Tatum, I was like, Jason effing Tatum, holding that good old wrist. And just seeing that happen, definitely hurt. But knowing that we got a little feature over here.
Look, yeah,
Sorry for the
we're a pet
feature.
we're a pet family.
Yes, yes. This is my brother's dog, so we're trying to transform into a little leprechaun before it's too late.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
first time on the fans. I mean, first time on a Celtics podcast. So I have
Yes,
to say, if your
sir.
brother,
Say hi.
I don't know. I think if your brother gets it on a Lakers podcast, then there might be some. But like on a Celtics podcast,
Yeah, for sure.
we're going.
Definitely, brother. So to get back to touching up on this upcoming season, you know, I don't have many high expectations, but I don't have much doubt either. Um, as I've said, being a fan since we had our first big three, obviously a little bit before that, seeing the different teams we had, to seeing that we made the finals in 2022 with a similar built team. You know, maybe we were missing certain key factors. I feel like depending maybe possibly the toughness level, but still having one of our double headed dragon in Jalen Brown, I feel like we still can do a lot versus doing a little. You know what I mean? And God forbid we didn't do as great as we hope. I mean, can we place the ballot for AJ, Mr. BYU, the hometown hero?
I
You know,
hope so.
can we put him in a rotation? Could you think about that, Griff? Peyton
That
Pritch,
Seamus
Jalen
kills me
Brown,
whenever I say that, but
AJ, JT, Chris Boucher, D White, like like a lot of people are saying, never sleep on. I like to call him Professor X, aka Brad Stevens. He'll work some magic and definitely, possibly even pull a trade during the season. As we mentioned, Anthony Simons could be a part of that, could not be, but I would hope they at least give him the opportunity to prove himself, or if not, let him do what he's good at doing, which is putting the ball in the basket and maybe even increasing his trade value. You know what I mean? I look forward to this season because I know it'll be a great chance for us fans to show that we still believe, we still bleed green, we still are 18-time championship based organization and fan club. And this season, I say it's not gonna make or break us, but it's just gonna prove a lot of people wrong. And I like to call this is gonna be the get back game because we're about to get back for everything that we're about to not maybe possibly accomplish, but the upcoming season after that will be an astonishing one. So this one is just gonna be another seed planted in the garden. Don't let that go over your head.
I saw what you did there. See, you're throwing all these little things at me, and I'm like, geez, hey,
Come
let's go.
on, man.
No, but I have to say, no, I love what you said, and I completely agree. I look at this as more so and you said it right there, a bridge year for the Boston Celtics. I feel like this year, you might not see them be as productive, but again, you saw the Mavericks last year. They clearly didn't tank, and they ended up with Cooper Flag. So it's like, could we, in a crazy world, get a?
Crazy.
But like, I look at this, and I also think there's a chance that the Celtics can still shock us and really be a good team to keep an eye out for. I mean, they
Oh
still,
yeah.
like you've been mentioning too, Anthony Simons is a guy to keep your eyes on. I mean, in Portland, he was a boss, and we still got Jalen Brown, we got Derek White, we got Peyton Pritchard, so we still got a
I
little.
was actually hoping that us having Anthony Simons kind of was an extra advisory to sign Damian Lillard.
I
Now, if
same.
we were able to sign Damian Lillard, Griff, and he recovers with Tatum and have them both come back next season, Griff, Griff,
It would have been over for.
The NBA lost their mind when we acquired Drew and KP. They lost their mind when we won Banner 18. Imagine we would have gotten Damian Lillard to play with the Jays and still keep D White and Peyton Pritch.
And I tell you what, that one hit me
They would
hard.
never let that happen.
That one hit me hard this offseason. I'm happy he's back in Portland. Like, good for him with
Yeah, for
Portland.
sure. Nice reunion.
Exactly. But it hit me hard because it looked like it was like, oh my gosh, the Celtics have him. Because every report I was seeing, it was like Celtics, Celtics, Celtics. It looked like he
Yes.
had him. But then it was like, oh,
And he was already wearing green, so why not go to the better green?
exact. See, I like your thinking there. But you really gave us a great perspective from the off season, what you expect. But I want to ask you a question too, and we'll get back into the Celtics fandom now. And here's Seamus's question: what are your earliest memories as a Celtics fan? And you kind of said Rondo and that group, but like, who really? What was the earliest memories and most fun memories that you had, either as a kid growing up or just when you watched the
Uh,
Celtics?
Great question. I already said it once. I'll say it again. Shout out to Seamus, baby.
Ah,
Yeah. So, great question. One of my earliest memories, I would say, was give or take around the time of Pierce being drafted. Now at that time, granted, I wasn't really a Celtics fan, if I'm being honest. Um, my brother, before he became a huge Laker fanatic and Kobe Bryant fan, his initial favorite player was Jason Kidd, and mine was Allen Iverson.
Okay.
So to be in the household of the Atlantic Division, I had no choice but to see headband Paul Pierce, and to see him hitting these sick game winners and step backs, and you know, God bless him, seeing him survive that stabbing, and just seeing him, use that as fuel to the fire. And seeing that wonderful playoff series with the Celtics versus the New Jersey Nets. As I mentioned, my brother's favorite player being Jason Kidd, and us just talking hella smack. Like Paul Pierce is about to have a 30 clip on you. He's like Jason Kidd is about to have 20 assists. So just being around that time, and then as I mentioned earlier, just being gifted a Paul Pierce jersey from my father. Kind of planted just another seed. And just being a huge NBA fan around that time, and just seeing, even the Celtics still having Antoine Walker, and seeing that duo of the big eight and the big 3-4 just going bucket for bucket, and just hoping that, man, if they could keep them together, maybe they could spark something big, you know. And then obviously having all my friends who are Nickerdoodle fans, you know, just seeing the vibes of like the Spree Row and the Allen Houston era, and they having their moments of success, and maybe even possibly thinking, maybe I'm gravitating to them, but something about that poor Pierce and what he's doing over there in Beantown is gravitating to me and lingering in the back of my mind, and you know, if I'm being honest, I always thought I looked a little bit more handsome in that green.
You're right. You do. I gotta say, you pull off the green. I mean, who doesn't pull off Celtics green? Who doesn't?
Yes, I tell everyone that it brings out their eyes,
It
man.
does. It does. It does. It does. Question I have to say too, and you could even throw a stab at. You said you're still coming down from the high of the championship, but we'll talk even maybe not including, but you can include the championship too. What is your favorite Celtics memories as a Celtics fan? And there's plenty of options because you even said back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of your favorites? You could even give us top three, or if you wanted to
Oh
give us your
man, how much time we got left? Because this might be my longest answer yet.
Oh,
But to
we got
answer
all night.
that, I mean, man, where do I begin? Like, I would say one of my top favorite moments, just to kind of like start from like not in an order, but like beginning to an extended end. I was actually blessed. I was a doorman slash concierge the past few years, and during the playoff series, when we played Brooklyn Nets, as you remember, that handsome gentleman, aka champion behind you, hit that wonderful game one buzzer beater. I immediately reached out to one of my tenants who I had a fond relationship with, and I told him, Jason and Tatum, are you kidding me right now? Like, I can't believe it. I'm losing my mind. He goes, dude, do you plan on going to a game? And one of my good Leprechaun brothers, Liam. Shout out to Liam. We went to college together, and we were already looking at Game 5 of the series. Thank the Lord there was no Game 5, because why? Brought out that broomstick, of course. And my tenant, Jake, he actually goes, dude, pick a game. I'm gonna bless you and a friend with a ticket. I said, dude, don't shit me, cause I might just shit myself. I was like, I'll lose my noggin, Griff. And lo and behold, he kept his word, and he blessed me to go to Game 4 of the 2022 playoffs versus Brooklyn Nets, and I got to bring my buddy Liam with me, and my buddy Liam goes, hey. I actually saw one of the Celtic fanatics, GLD, is going to the game as well. He goes, you know me, I'm not really a talkative person, but I know you are. Maybe you should hit him up. Immediately, brother, I DM'd GLD, and I said, hey, my boy, we haven't met yet, but I look forward to it. I'm gonna be at the game if you are too. Let's link up pregame vibes. Not only did we link up pregame vibes, we actually run into another cool fanatic, my boy Brendan. I don't know if you know Brendan, huge fanatic, sick Celtics Inc. He usually dyes his hair green for the games. He's blessed me to join a lot of great games with him. So shout out to him again. And the four of us actually created what we call the Broomstick Boys,
Yeah.
Why? Because that was the game that we swept Brooklyn, and that basically kind of planted the seed of my journey as the like, stepping it up a level to Celtic fanatics. And after that, it kind of inspired me because I was also able to get my first call that year, and I said, man, I was blessed to go to one game. I was blessed to meet GRD and Brendan. I work hard. I save my coins. Let me scout some tickets, or maybe the gentleman I just referred to, they could plug me in because someone they know is selling tickets, or they're both blessed to be season ticket holders, and maybe Brendan, for example, is selling one, and he's cool with me joining him and selling to me for a fair price. If not, I go on apps such as Game Time or TickPicks. And this is a free advertisement. If y'all listening, feel free to send some advertisement to Celtic Nation Rise podcast, baby. We love you.
Appreciate it.
We love
Appreciate it.
you. We need to go to some more games and
I
show our
know.
elite
Gotta
green.
get that
Uh,
content out there.
yeah, Griff. So I was actually blessed and inspired to go to a game each round of that season of 2022. I went to a game to versus Miami. I went to a game versus Milwaukee. And we actually won all those games as well, which made it even more amazing. And another one of my favorite moments that is actually intertwined with this. Shout out to my boy Brendan again. He goes, dude, I have a second ticket to the NBA Finals. He goes, would you like to join? I go, dude, I don't know how much overtime I can do, but I need to because I can't afford that shit. I'm sorry, part of my language. But I was so eager to join him. I said, what can I do? I saved my money, and honestly, Griff, um, people who know me know I work hard. I save my coins. I may dress well, but a ticket as such is far from affordable. I kid you not. I started a GoFundMe. People thought I was crazy for it. A lot of people supported me. One thing, again, GoFundMe. This is not sponsored, so feel free. We could collab again. Um,
Yeah,
you
we can.
know. One thing I like about GoFundMe is it asks you what it's for, and I was totally transparent. I'm an up and coming huge Celtics fanatic, and this is a part of my journey. And the last time my favorite team, the Boston Celtics, made the NBA Finals, I believe was I wanted to say at that time was give or take 14 to 16 years ago. So to make that appearance, was incredible. And lo and behold, you Griff, not only was I blessed to save enough, but I was donated enough to where I was able to purchase that ticket through my boy Brendan, and I got to go to the 22 NBA Finals, and it was freaking incredible. That moment led to another crazy moment as a Celtic fanatic. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge believer in praying and faith, but more so as
I,
well
yeah.
manifestation. That's one thing I'm a huge fan about Jalen Brown is his Instagram obviously stands for faith, consistency, hard work pays off. And I totally believe that. I had an idea in mind. I said, man, I've seen a lot of great throwback jerseys at TD Garden, but I don't see a lot of at this time and point college jerseys. I did my homework. I found a college jersey. It just so happened to be a unique jersey. Why? Not only was it for our player Jalen Brown, but it was his college jersey, whom is California Berkeley, whom is where the team we're playing is around, the Golden State Warriors, whom also wear similar colors. So I said, man, this is a great brain twister. When I wore that jersey, Griff, Golden State fans thought, yeah, let's go. I said, no, Papa, read the back of the jersey. Celtic fans
And
try to boo me. I said, no, Papa. Read the back of the jersey. It was a Jalen Brown, Cal Berkeley college jersey. Brother, when I got there, I had an idea, as I said, to manifest. I got there super early. For those of you who don't know, you don't necessarily need to be a season ticket holder to get in early enough for autographs. You just need to be one of the first people at the gate when they allow entry, which is usually like an hour and a half before game time, and just try your best to go down to the bottom. Maybe some players are still doing a shoot around, and sometimes certain security guards are a bit lenient if you're there early enough. Um, and just shoot your shot. Scream to the top of your lungs like I did. I kid you not, Griff. Me being 5'7" on a great day, I got on top of a chair with the Cal jersey and like JB, JB. What are the odds? He's one of the last people warming up, Griff. I kid you not when I say this. He's on the free throw line. He does a side to side span. He acknowledges me. He shakes his hand. I said, I'm by myself, mind you. I start choking to myself like a crazy person. I said, did Jalen Brown just nod his head at me? Is he about to come through and show me some love? No way. So, and many of you don't know, my Instagram is allmoneyin_Fleezus, where I have the proof in the pudding of this. I immediately, when he finished shooting free throws, I went to where the barricade was. I snuck beside a security guard and I started waving the jersey. JB, yo, JB. I kid you not, Griff. He walked past everyone, not even on a disrespectful vibe, but he was so locked in. He
Yeah.
came right up to me, Griff. Yo, I was so excited that I almost dropped the freaking jersey. He signed the jersey and I landed Jalen Brown's autograph in the 2022 finals, which, if I'm not mistaken, was game one, where we won one of two games before we became a bit of choke artists and kind of let that series get the best of us. But we didn't have the experience we needed that, helped us acquire Banner 18 eventually. But that moment right there, Griff, even before the game started, like I was losing my mind. I was like, man, if we don't win this game, like I'm super satisfied. Like I got to go to the NBA Finals. I got my jersey signed by not even at that point the now 2024 Finals MVP. And just that's one of my most fantastic moments. But if you think that's an amazing moment, I could go even a bit higher than that. I was actually blessed during that offseason to be able to convince my job that I needed time off for something that I could not miss. Griff, I was at year 5 at this job that I mentioned before, and I let it be known I need all types of coverage. I work a double, I work a triple, I work on an off day. Shoot, I may even quit this job if y'all don't let me go because it's been 16 years since my favorite team had won their last championship, Griff. And the odds that we have a parade that I'm blessed to have the wheels to make it out there and, to know a bunch of great leprechauns that are out there waiting to shower me with love and just to share the vibes. I was blessed to go to the championship parade, Griff. I believe, were you there as well?
I was there. I was there.
So
Yeah.
you
Wait,
can
what side were you
relate.
on? What
I
side
was
were you
across the street from TD
on?
Garden.
I feel like I was the only fan on the other side, which is weird.
Yeah, so there was a
Like
lot
the
of
only
other.
like creator.
Yeah, yeah. So it's crazy because I honestly wish at that time I had the mindset of how I do now, being a creator. Because I got a lot of dope content and a lot of dope feedback,
Yeah.
which I still feel like planted a seed in a sense. But Griff,
We'll be
when I
back
tell
though. We'll
you,
be back.
Griff, that the parade, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was on a Friday. I
Yeah.
worked I worked Thursday 3 to 11 p.m., Griff. I took an hour nap after work and I drive straight out to Beantown. Mind you, people, that's like give or take a 3.5 hour ride. And it's at
Holy.
this time, it's after midnight, super dark on the roads, me by myself, but it's your favorite leprechaun, so I'm making the moves, baby. I had a Kia Forte at that time. I was zooming with safety, of course, and I linked up with my boy Omar. Shout out to my boy Omar. We linked up around the mosque that he says prayer at. I parked up. We went to Dunkin' Donuts, got a nice little iced coffee because Beantown runs on Boston, of course. And
Yes.
again, this is not a paid advertisement, but future reference. And we got to the stadium so early that you know it was the sun hadn't even risen. It was like 5 in the morning, and it's so crazy. Shout out to my boy Babs, one of GRD's closest homies, and also shout out to my boy Caveman once more, whom they were both out there since like 2, 3 in the morning. I thought I was crazy. They proved me wrong. They're crazier, but I loved it. It had me hype at 5 in the morning. Little to nothing in my stomach. Just running off of energy and adrenaline, and to be there, the first people seated out there, Griff. The energy was amazing. The parade didn't start till about 11 a.m. So at that point, Griff, I was dehydrated. I was starving. I was pressed against the gate because we were so tight knit. But
Oh
I was
yeah.
around a bunch of people that I knew, and even people that I met, whom I'm like, I'm from New York, and on the train, we're like shoulder to shoulder. That's how packed it is. And I've taken the train system in Beantown as well. Shout out to the Green Line, shout out to the Orange Line. And I've seen and been around some packed trains and vicinity. So, being around that for that moment, I kid you not, Griff, I was yelling at every camera, let's go, baby. We outside, waving the flags, showing the jersey. To the point, Griff, where I even was blessed to the next morning I received a phone call from my good buddy Calvin. Shout out to Calvin. He's a Leprechaun fan. Initially from Texas, moved out to Beantown for a dope opportunity. And he calls me at freaking 6 in the morning. Griff, I'm thinking, did I forget something? Is he in trouble? What's going on? He goes, dude, check your phone. Griff, when I check my phone, you won't believe it. We made the front cover of the Boston Herald, baby. It's your favorite
Hey,
leprechaun. And we
you
made
got me hyped up right now.
Dude, we made the front page like a leprechaun that's not from Beantown and from New York at that to make the front cover alongside a leprechaun who's also not from Beantown, from Texas initially. Like it was just amazing to see. My mom, God rest her soul, she was blessed to see that as well. Shout out to Calvin again. He was blessed to go to the nearest 7-Eleven. Again, not a paid advertisement. And he
Love
got
it.
a couple copies and he blessed me and he mailed it first priority. And I was blessed to have that. And I actually have it framed at my other apartment because I was recently blessed to land a job opportunity that moved me to Brooklyn when I'm here in the Bronx as well. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of my most favorite memories. But I know that's just the tip of the iceberg. From those moments to now, being blessed to meet you this whole season, and to be inspired by you and your podcast. And just to want to go even full throttle with this season. Like, yeah, we're about to make some super exciting content on a down season, So to imagine the rebuild towards an exciting season to where we get back in the mix and remind people we still the Boston Celtics, we still the 18-time champions. It's still your favorite leprechaun. It's still Griff. It's still Celtic Nations Rod podcast, baby. We
Hey,
outside. Even when we indoors.
we we outside, but we're indoors. It works. It
Hell
works.
yeah.
And I tell you what, that got me fired up. Like I'm ready for the season to start because I tell you what, every time we talk about the championship, it just brings back goosebumps. I'm telling you. I'm
For
telling you.
sure.
But I have a question. I have to shout out this jersey that you have, this sick
Ah,
jersey right
come
here.
on, man.
And there's you with JB. How
Yes.
did you tell him that you met him back then? Did he remember you? Is that how?
Yeah, so funny enough, I have that reel on my Instagram, and you could slightly hear me, and I was like, man, I don't know if you remember, but we met in the finals of 22. I had your Cal jersey. I was the crazy guy, like, yeah, let's go, baby, we outside. He starts laughing, and he daps me up, and he goes, yeah, I think I remember that. Whether he did or didn't, maybe I refreshed his memory to something he forgotten about, but I know that during that finals, he not only probably didn't give out his autograph much, but I know for sure that was the only Cal jersey he signed at that moment.
Definitely.
And he was actually even asking me about the jersey that I wore, which many
Yeah,
people
let's
thought
pull it
I
back up.
made. I wish I was that talented, but I want to give a huge shout out to my family over at Shop Banner 18. I usually don't share my source when it comes to the gear, cause I like to be original. I like to stand out. If it's on a side note and my boy Griff says, "Yo, where'd you get that? I need that." I'm gonna text you the link, but don't tell everybody, cause we gotta stay unique. But shout out to Shop Banner 18, who made that super sick jersey and it went so well with the Rovers, and he was like, man, he's like, I like that jersey. I was like, it might be a little snug, but you want to try it on? Like, I know you got all that damn muscle, but come on now.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, we heard about that experience, but I gotta pull up another one. I tell you what, at
Yeah.
Fanatics Fest, and I tell you what, there's
Fanatics,
another jersey.
man.
There's another jersey.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell us
Once
how
more,
was.
shout out.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. No, keep going, keep going.
Once more, shout out to Shop Banner 18 for that sick JT jersey. Again, they have a huge variety. I actually was introduced to their website. I would say a season or two ago. I actually was never lucky enough to land a jersey from their site because they tend to sell out quickly. But they usually have a lot of great options, and I had a few that I had purchased. And I'm the type, I like to buy gear and I like to let it sit to where maybe sometimes I forget. Oh man, I forgot I had this jersey or this T-shirt, and I'm thinking I don't have nothing to wear to a next game or an event, and I have something what I say in the stash. That moment was a huge moment for me this off season. I always wanted to go to Fanatics Fest, especially last year. My all-time favorite player, my goat, Mr. Braids, Mr. Tattoos, Mr. Armbands, Allen the Goat Iverson. He was there, and the big ticket KG, he was there. But unfortunately, it's multiple pricing. It's a ticket to get in, which is a decent price. Shout out to Michael Rubin for this dope event, Fanatics Fest, that's held at the Jacob Javits Center. For those who may not know, in New York City, also hosts things such as Comic Con and things of that nature. But the pricing to meet them, to get a picture and an autograph, was a bit too much for me. And I honestly, Griff, I wanted to do all of the above.
Totally.
I wanted to get this jersey signed. I wanted to get an Iverson jersey signed. But the man up above works in mysterious ways to where, shout out to my boy Caveman again. Um, Last season he invited me to a very dope watch party hosted by my family over at Mathematic Athletics, who I have a very fond love and respect for, whom if you don't know that they're making a lot of dope waves in Beantown. Shout out to my guy Peter Edward, who is the owner of this product, along with his good friend Dart Adams. And they're just pushing the culture, and they have a dope campaign called Neighborhood of Champions, and they basically focus in on the inner cities such as Roxbury, such as Lowell, a bunch of places I was never privy to before the past few seasons. And I'm honored too, because I know Boston goes deeper than just the Celtics, but just the area of TD Garden as well. And being at that watch party, I was able to meet the gentleman as such, but a bunch of other fanatics, and we stood in contact and we built a dope rapport during that season. And he reaches out one day and goes, "Yo, I know you're in New York. I'm gonna be out there. I know you're the biggest leprechaun out there, and if you're free, I would love for you to join." And I said, "Man, I'll be there before you." And Griff, I went over there. I was blessed to go and link up with my boy P, and it was a super dope experience. Like, if anyone's ever in town during that time, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not able to purchase autographs or pictures with stars, you can accidentally run into stars as I did. I ran into people such as Joe Burrow. I saw Draymond, Tyreek Hill. For those of you into WWE, I saw Seth freaking Rollins. I saw his wife, the man. She was there as well. And it built a lot of dope content. My boy Jaden, aka Spicy, he hosts basketball tournaments out here at a huge New York tournament called Dykeman, and he was blessed to host like a little shoot around challenge at this event at Fanatics Fest. And just to see familiar faces and to meet people who, like, it was just a dope time. And that picture was taken by my boy Key Visions, who's great at photography. And I ran into him. I said, "Yo, my boy, I need a picture real quick. I can't let this outfit go to waste." And I was like, "Let's go!" And I had to show off that dope tag to let people know that your favorite leprechaun was in the building, baby.
I love it. So, just a couple more questions before we close off here. The next
Yes,
one,
sir.
though, is we obviously know about Jalen Brown, but have you met any other Celtics players? You showed me the IT sign ball. Did you
Yeah,
have to?
yeah, yeah. I was blessed to meet a few players. I actually brung a few extra memorabilia just for this special moment. So if you give me a sec, I'll go and grab it real
Yeah,
quick.
of course. Of
Um,
course.
it's it's a few different. I have so much stuff that I gotta try to pinpoint and see what I got here.
I love all the see you guys gotta tap in, and also go check him out on Instagram. Go check him out on Instagram. But
Yes,
here we go.
sir.
Here we go. Here we go.
You
I'm
can
ready.
find me at all money in underscore Fleezus, baby, aka your favorite leprechaun. So I got a few here. I'll try to go in a little order. As I mentioned, I had that good old Jalen Brown Cal jersey, nicely
Woo!
autographed. You see, I got the plastic because I'm still parlayed, unfortunately, to get a frame. But it's definitely in the works. Unless anybody out there wants to bless your favorite leprechaun with one, feel free. I'll DM the Addy. All right.
Got you.
Uh,
Got you. Got you.
so I'm gonna get this one out first for you guys, just to show you really quickly, because I know we running up the clock.
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. No worries.
So first, that wonderful shout out Cal Berkeley, you produced the Finals MVP, baby.
Woo! I love it. I love it.
So
I love it.
that I would say was my first ever autographed jersey. Super sick feeling to have, just being a NBA fan, or sports fan, a fanatic as a whole. You know, that was something that was just extremely dope moment for me. Second autograph I have here is, let me see. So shout out to my brother. He actually host a very dope tournament in the Bronx called TOH Classic, which is Top of the Hill Classic in Soundview in the Bronx, which is actually dedicated to Kemba Walker.
Ooh,
Um,
I'm a big Kemba.
and shout out Kemba. I was super ecstatic when we were blessed to have him on the team, even though it wasn't for too long and he battled through injuries. But me being a Bronx native, seeing him put on that uniform, nobody could tell me nothing, Griff. I love Rajon Rondo to death. That's my favorite player, favorite Celtic. But when Kemba put that jersey on, it was just special to me. Like, just seeing someone from the Bronx, whom we know as Cardiac Kemba, put on that green. So as I mentioned, having this jersey, my brother hosted his tournament, and one day he actually showed up to the court. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there, but shout out to my brother Johnny for holding it down for his favorite leprechaun.
Hey,
And
that's
it says to
huge. That's
Chris,
huge.
Kemba Walker, baby.
I gotta buy one online or something. 'Cause
Yes,
I have
sir.
two Kemba Walker jerseys back there. I'm a
And,
huge
and,
Kemba.
and that's just to correct people, Griff. That's not an Antoine Walker jersey getting
Nope,
autographed, all
it's a
right?
Kemba. We
That's a
got Kemba ones here. We
Kemba.
got Kemba ones here.
I have another thing that was autographed. Again, shout out to my brother Johnny, one of the hottest MCs for Street Ball in New York. Um, he hosts another tournament called the Rose Classic. Shout out to them out in Brooklyn. It's a top tier all girls high school basketball tournament. It's such a small world. Would you know that one of the top athletes that have played the past few years, guess whose daughter of a former leprechaun it happened to be?
I don't know.
Mr. White Mamba, Brian
Woo! Ryan
Scalabrine.
Scalabrine, let's go.
So he said to Chris and the Celtics, he put White Mamba. He actually also made me a dope video giving me a shout out, which my brother recorded. And he actually sent it to me when the championship season began. So I wish that I started content creation sooner to put that up. But when we won the championship, I threw it up again and I said, man, check this out. I don't know if you remember. A bunch of us actually went to a game last season in Brooklyn where we got to hang out with him for a bit, and also Drew, our newest announcer. And I let him know, yo, my brother Johnny. My brother has a slogan called, "When you're at the free throw line, he goes, all crumbs matter." So Scal remembered that, and I said, Scal, it's Chris, Johnny's brother. All crumbs matter. And he turned around, he goes, ah, what's up? Took a group pic with us, so that was pretty cool. Another autograph I was blessed to land. Again, shout out to my brother Johnny. He hosted a tournament for, I don't know if you're familiar with and one basketball.
Yes,
There's
yes.
a gentleman named Shane the Dribble Machine. He hosted this tournament of his own, and he actually signed his T-shirt for me, which I think is very dope because as a basketball fan, if you into basketball, especially street ball, you know how epic the N1 series was. Also, shout out to Hot Sauce. If you know, you know. Um, Next jersey I have, probably one of my most favorite. I was blessed to go to the Truth Lounge podcast last season. Shout out to the Big Three Full Paul Pierce, and he had like a little meet and greet beforehand if you bought the extra ticket. And I was actually blessed to meet him as well with this beautiful
Hey,
50-50 jersey. And they say, "You want the truth, Griff? You can't handle the
yeah,
truth." So
hey, you can't
to get
handle
the
the truth
'08
in
Finals
the truth.
MVP autograph, and for him to even say, "Yo, man, I like that jersey," which is also on my Instagram, and we dapped
Go
each
check
other
it out.
up, and that was really cool. And my final, well, my second to final autograph that I have, I was actually blessed to go to an event over in Kowloon Restaurant. Are you
I
familiar?
love Kowloon.
Shout out to Elite Promotions. Those are my guys. I'm sorry if I didn't say the name properly. But there's a great bunch over there who do a lot of promotions and on meet and greets and autographs. And they did one for Mr. Heart Over Height, my favorite number 4, Isaiah Thomas. And I said I couldn't meet that. I couldn't not make that moment for the life. I got to meet up with my boy Caveman, my boy Gingerbeard Mike. GRD was there. My boy Neil, who's out in Charlotte. You know, Celtics fans in Charlotte. And I drove out there, Griff. I didn't care how long it took me. I went out there, got there early, and I said I had a huge admiration for Isaiah Thomas because of course, I mentioned a lot about Rondo and the truth, but a real epic time in my life and as a Celtic fan was when Isaiah Thomas was leading our bunch to the playoffs against the Washington Wizards. And I told him he had that 30-40 ball against them. And I was in college at the time. And RA, who's basically the overseers of the dorm, they knocked on my door. Is everything okay? I said, get out. Isaiah Thomas is torturing them right now, baby. And I was just getting mad loud. They knocked because they thought something was wrong, but I was super fucking excited. I was banging on the walls, and I'm also a huge fan of the late great Nipsey Hussle. If you're familiar, if you're not, go
I
search up
love
his
it.
music. Shout out to LA on that one. Lost him too soon. His music inspires me, but he had a very personal relationship with Isaiah Thomas, which is another reason I wanted to meet him. And I was actually blessed for the Q&A to ask him a personal question about such, which you can also check out on my IG, pretty dope. And that kind of inspired me to begin the content creation. And I was able to not only meet him and to dap him up, but to get a picture. But he signed this basketball for me as well.
Fire.
So that
Love
was
it.
very cool. I'm tripping. I need to get a case for it ASAP. But
Well,
that was a
I'm
very
the same. I'm the same. I have a Tatum ball up there. I've shown it so many
oh
times.
man.
I have a
Yeah,
Tatum
you gotta
ball.
get it. You don't want it to collect dust or nothing, or
No,
for the
I got
Sharpie to fade. And then my last to wrap us up. As you told the audience, you know we had a great memory together this summer at Kenobi Lake to meet Jalen Brown, the
Paul.
2024 Finals MVP.
We got it. We got it right there. We
There you
got it.
go. And as you can see, actually that jersey in my hand, I was blessed to get that City Edition jersey signed by the 2024 Finals MVP. But what makes this autograph so special is, you know, the interaction with him on a personal level, but for him to also take the time to put his mantra FCHWPO, faith, consistency, hard work pays off, was very special. And to be able to put side by side the two autographs and to see this one
Beautiful.
was even more well dedicated and put out was a great honor to top off that amazing day that we had in that 85-degree weather. You know what
It was
I'm
hot.
saying?
Hot.
It was totally worth it.
It was. And I want to say thank you for showing those. And I have two more questions too before we close
Yes,
off.
sir.
My next question is, what is your all-time Celtics starting five? All time first, and then we'll do fan favorites. So
Oh
all
man, that is so hard, Griff. You asked me a lot of questions, but none of them has stumped me like this, man.
all right,
And
we'll start off with this one then. We
I'm
can start off
sorry
with
to the
this one.
viewers who agree or disagree, but
All
I'm gonna
right,
try
let's
my
start off with
best.
this one. What's your fan favorite top five Celtics players of all time? fan
Fan
favorite, and then
favorite?
we'll go who you think is the best.
Like,
So fan
are we
favorite.
going by positions or just favorite?
Yeah, we go with positions, but it's who your favorite was at each position.
Ah, so as
So
I
it could
said,
be
the
like
point.
we're talking about like this could even be Jordan Walsh if you want to throw it in there, but I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah. Shout out Jordan Walsh. I hope he has a great step up season, man. Um, so point guard is definitely the hardest because why? As I said,
you can mix and match though. You can mix and match.
three of my key favorites are old point guards, which would be Rondo, It, and Kemba.
So
Um,
you could go shooting guard, point guard, small forward if you
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to.
So point guard, I'm gonna have to give it to my biggest influence of becoming a leprechaun, Mr. Rondo, number 9. Um,
You could put them
he.
out of position if you want. If you want, you could put them out.
I'm gonna try one position and then maybe one without. For the two guard, we've had a lot of dope additions over that time. Um, so it's really hard to pick out of that bunch, right? um and it may be cliche, but one of my favorites was of course Ray Allen. Despite him having that moment with Miami, because of course admiring his game since he was a Seattle Supersonic, which many folks maybe not even alive when they were still a team or young enough to remember, but he had a great movie where he played a character, Jesus Shuttlesworth. Uh, if you know, you know, called He Got Game with Denzel Washington, and seeing him portray a character that was playing in Coney Island in New York, which was actually inspired by Stephon Marbury, which very dope to have him at the two guard. But I would definitely have an honorable mention for that and say, as a favorite, Avery Bradley.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
loved Avery's game since he was a Longhorn. Um, you know, he just brought a lot to the team that not many were able to. For the three, of course I love the truth. You gotta throw Larry Legend in there. You know, and maybe in and out of position, but I've grown a bit more admiration and fondness of the late great Reggie Lewis. As I mentioned earlier, shout out to my boy Peter Edward and the Mathematic Athletic family. I was blessed to actually go this summer to the Reggie Lewis Center, which was a dope opportunity for me to get familiar with the inner city of Roxbury and just to learn more about his game and to know that he was a late great that we lost too soon, along with the late great Len Bias, whom I also throw in there. And he put on for the city, and many were saying, both names I just mentioned could have been bigger and better than Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Especially Len Bias, they were saying. Yeah.
Especially Len Bias, man. God rest both of their souls. To think how many more championships we would have had. At the four, of course, you could never go wrong with the big ticket, right? Anybody who headbutts the goalpost every game, you gotta love him. You gotta love him. I loved Big Baby Davis. I loved Jared Sullinger, Sully. I actually got the chance to meet him one time in Brooklyn. Very dope before we traded him off.
Hey,
You know what I mean? So that was dope as well. I just love a lot of players who didn't often get admiration. You know what I mean? At the five, you can't go wrong with the big chief Robert Parrish. You know, who else, man? Even low key to say, I loved when we had Shaq for that moment.
I was gonna
You
say
know,
Shaq. Shaq is a
I
famous one.
loved when we had Shaq. I threw that in my brother's face, like, yo, we got a former Laker doodle. And then what happens? He goes and breaks his freaking foot. That was tough. Another player I'll throw in there, Ricky Davis, man. Ricky Davis, him in that headband era, he really instilled some more Celtic Nation vibes in me. And he was a beast, man. He definitely didn't get a lot of credibility as well. But I feel like the list goes on. Like for every good player a team has, we have three. You know what I mean? And
You
and,
do.
and just to keep throwing those mixes in there, like, it's hard to go. Like, I feel like every time I've watched the Celtic documentary, I've learned about another player. I've grown more admiration for a player. You know what I mean? And just to go forward and see, the players to this day who we have, such as Tatum, such as Brown, such as D White, such as Pritch. To have had players like Porzingis and Drew Holiday, like, yeah, maybe their runs were short, but they were extremely impactful. You know what I mean? And even of course players as we mentioned, Marcus Smart. You know, great to have him the most time of his career. You know what I'm saying? And I can't forget my boy Time Lord right there, Robert
Time
Will the
Lord.
third.
Yes,
I loved
yes.
when we had Time Lord, man. I told people, I said the only thing holding him back is his health. I just wish KG would have worked out with him and gave him a bit more paint presence in there, and that would have just done something extremely special. You know what I'm saying? So, to do things as such, it's hard to pick a old time five or fan favorite five because I often feel like I'm changing my answer. It just depends the type of conversation that's ahead.
It works though. And in my last question, because you're one of the most inspirational people, if not the
Thank you,
most
brother.
inspirational person we had on this podcast. But last one, I want to say, do you have any inspiring words for fans out there who are upset about this off season? And we've had some good ones, and get them hyped up or something. Whatever you got to do to close out this episode.
Yeah, brother, for sure. I mean, like the late great Red Auerbach said, Celtics are in basketball. It's the way of life, baby. And through the good, the bad, the in between, from the thinking we're gonna tank days to the Paul Pierce to Antonio Walker to now having the 18-time champions of the world. Like, if you count us out, you must not know how to count. All right, we're gonna have to send you to grade school and put them fingers back up, baby. But most importantly, like one of my biggest motivators said, the late great Nipsey Hussle, the marathon continues, baby. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you cross the finish line. And I know that we'll do that definitely definitely again. I can't say how long I think predicted, but I definitely know it won't be as long as the last. Because as long as we have the Jays together and putting the right pieces around them, it's different here, baby. And as long as you got Griff, you got your favorite leprechaun Fleezus, you got Celtic Nation's Rise podcast, then you know the vibe. We
Yay!
outside, baby. If you
We
see
out.
me at TD Garden, say hello, say what's up. Tell me I'm your favorite leprechaun. Give me your info. We're gonna lock in a network. I can't wait for this season. This is gonna be season that really is gonna be put in the next documentary of, hey, remember that season where they thought we was down and out? Yeah. Well, like I said, they must not know how to count.
I love that. Well, I have to say, Fleezus, thank you so much for joining us again. Go show him
Yes,
some love. Give
sir.
him a shout out the IG really quick, and we'll put it in the description as well.
Yeah. Sorry, pardon. I dropped a little selfie light over here.
All good, all good.
Yes, sir. So first and foremost, I want to shout out to Griff. I want to shout out Seamus and everybody else who's behind the scenes for the Celtic Nation Rise podcast. Episode 70, baby. If you
Woo, we're
haven't
cruising.
tapped in, you got 69 more episodes to watch before you get this far. And don't you skip a beat because somebody new, a different topic, a different vibe. You know, maybe you like my energy, but maybe there's somebody else out there that you're more relatable with, and we all come together and break bread. I'd love to lock in with y'all. Stay tuned for all the content that's on the
Come back.
way, baby.
Yeah, and you're joining
Yes.
back up on the podcast. We gotta have you
Oh, we
back on.
coming back this season, baby. We're gonna do a little recap, man. We had a wonderful off season despite the trades and all the downfalls. But as fans such as ourselves, we enjoyed ourselves. You could not see me anywhere not in green. A smile on my face because I'm like, people are like, man, you're not doing nothing this season. I said, hey, you see this hat? Your team can't even make one. So follow
I
me on
love it.
Instagram, baby, and on TikTok. All money in underscore Fleezus, Fleezus. And shout out to my boy Griff. Shout out Celtic Nation Rise Podcast. Tap in or get tapped out, baby.
I
Ah.
love it. I love it. Well, thank you again, Fleas Us. And with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. Again, hectic off season. We're going to be giving you content left and right. And we can't wait to give you more content when the season starts. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We will see you guys with the next one. Peace, guys.